All right, welcome to Gas and Go with Snow. Back with my man Christian. All right, brother. Hey, so we looked at my car. Let's talk about yours. I like the graphics on it. So what do we have here?
So this is a 2022 Mustang Mach 1. It's a premium, so it's got the nice leather interior, which when we go inside, if we want to talk about that, part of the reason why I wanted to get the premium in particular, aside from just who doesn't like heated and cooled seats.
Oh yeah, of course.
Is you've got this stripe on there, which Mach 1s, since the original Mach 1s back in the 60s have always had. So I love that sort of historic connection there. I'm gonna put it on accessory here so we can roll down the windows.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the 10-speed. It's my daily, so I figured why not just go for the fast.
So you're daily driving this guy?
I'm daily driving this guy. I got it with 6,500 miles on it. And because I ended up changing careers and getting a master's, or working on a master's right now, in the year I've owned this car, I've put 25,000 miles on it.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. Super comfortable. Obviously a lot of fun.
How's the reliability?
It's been pretty solid. I've only had one diff cooler leak. That's about it. That was a pretty easy fix. Really, the only other issue that I've had is somebody backed into my passenger side door last week.
That,
But it's going into the body shop next week, so that should get fixed. But no, it's been a great car. For me, it's the perfect Mustang for me because I had a GT before this, so it's got that same drivetrain that I liked, really robust, solid 5.0, but it's got all sorts of goodies from a lot of other performance Mustangs. It's got the rear subframe from a GT350. It's got GT350 axles.
Right.
I can't even remember the whole build sheet, but basically, people who are like, oh, you know, it's just a 5.0 with graphics on it. It's like, no, not really. It's more like a GT350 with a 5.0 in it. Yeah. So from that standpoint, I love this thing. I don't know that I'm ever going to get rid of this car. I love it.
Well, no, I mean, hey, it's always good when you find one that's a keeper. And a couple of things I noticed in here, right? I noticed you're serialized.
Yes.
Right? And then what I really like, you have the digital display and then you have the analog, feedback. So I like that. And then you got your infotainment system. I don't know what Ford calls it, but yeah. So
Sync 3.
Well, you got paddle shifters, the whole line. And there's actually a fair amount of room in here. I'm surprised that there's this much room in a Mustang.
Yeah, I mean, the back seats, if you're dealing with people that are under 5'7", they're fine. If you're over 5'7", it gets a little bit tight. Yeah, a little tight back there, but it's definitely workable. But yeah, no, like the paddle stock are a little bit short, so I threw some extenders on there. Yeah. A friend of mine has a 5.0, like a Fox body 5.0 swapped Mustang too, and he's got a Hurst pistol grip shifter on that.
Yeah, now,
and when
did you add this?
Yeah, I added that. So when I drove his car with that, even though that's a manual and it doesn't matter as much with an auto, I was like, I love the way it felt. So I was like, I'll put one of those in my car because it just
it looks good.
It looks good. It feels nice in the hand when you do interact with it. And yeah, all Mach 1s come with a digital display. They all come with these. You'd have to get a GT to get an analog gauge cluster there, but yeah, no, I mean, again, it's truly been a great car. Definitely compared to my GT, it handles better. Yeah. It's a little bit faster.
Well, let's check out under the hood. Let's see what we got here.
One of the other things that differentiates a Mach 1 from a GT is that you've got this factory cold air intake, and you've got the same intake manifold that you have from a GT350. And that's what makes these things make about 20 more horsepower to the crank than a comparable GT. Since this is a 22 from the factory, it made about 470, but the only thing that makes it make less is there's a little filter in the airbox, and I would never condone tampering with emissions equipment if you catch my drift. But it makes 480 now like it should, like a 2021 would have. So,
well, you know what, man? They needed a shoehorn to get this thing in here. So one of the things I know is about, like, the Ford, the modular motors, the heads are massive, which allows this thing to breathe like a big block, but you get the RPM of a small block, right?
Exactly,
so I like that, and I'm looking down in here, and man, there is no space on either side of this motor.
No, I mean, that's something they always talk about with the Coyote, is it's a huge motor, especially for the displacement. I mean, that's part of the reason why you don't see as many Coyote swaps is because you don't have as much real estate.
Yeah, you don't have real estate to work with.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
but so long as you have a car that it's designed for, it's a great motor.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, it's the perfect balance of not being incredibly gutless down low, but still having some revs, for sure.
Right.
And the aggressive gearing in the 10-speed also still makes it have some good punch from a dig,
low end
too.
torque.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, hey, definitely. It's interesting, you know, like I said, the technology that goes into the same basic concept that's been around, you know, for 100 years, and that's internal combustion. But, you know, and a lot of these new V8s are getting close to making comparable power to some of these electric cars.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And I mean, for that matter, I mean, as much as I love American cars, there's even more efficient V8s that are naturally aspirated and make well north of 500 horsepower. Or if you want to get some of the like crate motors, you can get a Megazilla that's naturally aspirated and makes in the 6s, and that's where you're really getting on par with some of the mid-performance EVs at that point.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not someone that hates EVs, but there's something to be said about the experience, the vibration,
of course,
getting thrown back.
I do build electric cars, and that's one of the #1 complaints is like, well, I like the sound, I like the rumble, I like the feel, I like the, you know, and all that is true. I totally understand because I like it too. Right? But what I feel like what I do is I trade one set of auditory experiences for another, right? And it's different. You know, I want to go fast, and if I need to sacrifice some of the sound, okay, so be it.
Hey, oh, exactly. No, I mean, I'm not one of those car guys that's like, ugh, EVs. EVs are cool in their own right. A friend of mine just got a Tesla Model 3 Performance, and I'm looking forward to driving that thing because I've never driven a Tesla Model 3. I've only driven a Mach E GT, so I know that's one of the really good ones in terms of the performance and handling. I'm excited to give it a try, for sure.
Well, we raced one of Talik's buddies. No, actually we didn't race, but we were at the track on the same day, and we looked at his numbers at a Model 3 Performance and my numbers in the Hillbilly Deluxe, and almost exactly the same.
Nice.
Yeah, and so you can make an EV swap just as fast as an off-the-shelf EV. So it's out there. All right. So tell me a little bit more about the livery on this. Now, is this the way you found it, or did you look for one that had this particular pattern?
So pretty much all Mach 1s from the factory come with this hood stripe, and then there's also a rocker stripe down here.
Yeah. Now, when you say this stripe, is it the black with the red pinstripe?
Correct. Yes. But the thing that I added myself is the stripe from the factory is just on the hood.
Okay.
To me, that looked a little bit naked.
Yeah.
So I went and I got a stripe extension that carried it over the top of the car and onto the trunk. But the side,
I like that.
But the stripe on the side, the stripe on the hood, that's all OEM. There is an option to delete it.
Okay.
But I don't know why you would. That's part of what...
Well, I mean, that's what makes it a Mach 1, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big part of what makes it, tells everyone it's a Mach 1, it's not just another GT.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you a little something. We're gonna test your Mustang trivia knowledge here. All right. So the original, I mean, the Eleanor, right? Do you know what that car was?
Well, that depends on which Eleanor you're talking about.
The original.
The original was, I think, a 1973 Mach 1.
It was a 73 Mach 1.
Yes.
And it was like yellow.
Oh, actually.
Yellow with this stripe?
Actually, I know we've been inside, but in reference to that Eleanor, do you want to see something? Because I've actually got a reference in the interior of my car to that Eleanor.
Okay, let's check it out.
Okay. So the original Eleanor is right there.
HB Halicki.
There
you go.
And then also, just for fun, on my other one, I've got another iconic
that's a Bullitt.
film Mustang right there.
That is my favorite Mustang of all time, is the Bullitt Mustang that Steve McQueen drove. You know Clint Eastwood owns that car.
Oh, he does?
He owns that car.
I did not know that.
And it's worth several $1 million.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that is super cool. You got Bullitt and the original Eleanor. Yeah, okay. I like it. Hey, nice car, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time to show it to me. We'll see you guys next time on Gas and Go with Snow.
The streets got the swagger, oh my. First shot he needs to do with a low rider machine. Cherry red paint, chrome wheels they clean. Snow pulls out his camera, ready to roll. Gas and Go with Snow, time to steal the show.